You listen to Straight Talk right here on 102 Jamz. We have a special guest in the building, Miss India Reaves. How you doing?
I am doing well. How are you guys?
Good.
Good. Thank you for joining us this morning. So you have a book. How long ago did this come out?
The book came out May 2014, so we're coming up on about a year and a half of it being out.
Okay,
All right.
cool. So you have this out, and you're still pushing it out. It's a 60-day devotional. Tell us a little bit more about this and yourself.
Well, like you said, my name is India Reaves. I'm a native of Winston-Salem.
Trefo.
North Carolina. You better
Trefo.
know it already.
Trefo, what's up?
Morgan, I'm trying to.
Okay,
What
we
school,
gotta
Parkland?
keep it
Parkland?
Oh, no. I actually teach at Parkland.
Oh, really?
This is my 5th year teaching at Parkland, but I graduated from Carver High School.
Oh,
Let's go,
boy.
Jackets.
We just rivals all the way
All
through.
right, Aggie Eagle, Jacket Mustang.
Mustang.
There you go.
Wow.
But, I actually had a chance to teach at Carver when I first graduated. I released the book, I'm Tough. I'm Tough is a 60-day devotional. Tough stands for tackling obstacles and unleashing God's hope. And pretty much what the book is about is, we all go through things in life, the good, the bad, the ups, the down, the ugly. However, you got to tap into that innate part of yourself that really makes you keep holding on, keep pushing, and that's hope. And we all possess hope. So my purpose and my goal with this book is just to kind of inspire and encourage you to keep holding on. So
I hear that.
it's real simple.
I feel that.
I'm not too complicated.
That's
not
a
too
good
complicated.
word.
Girl,
Ooh.
don't
I'm just trying to get her hype. That's all. That is it.
Now tell me a little bit more about this. Like, where does this come from? Like, what part of your life, that was tough for you, that kind of helped inspire this? I didn't mean to do that, but I did that.
It worked.
It worked.
It worked. I
But
like
but
that.
you know what? It's interesting that you asked that. I come from single parent home, grew up in East Winston. Just dealing with real life situations. I lost both of my parents 16 months apart. My dad when I was 17, my mom when I was a sophomore in 19 at North Carolina Central. Dealing with emotionally abusive relationships, being a functioning drug addict before I was 30. I worked, I'm a school teacher, I'm an activist, I'm involved in my community, I'm involved in ministry and got high every single day.
Wow.
And so, just the deliverance from addiction, all of that came from being tough. And so when I say tackling obstacles, y'all, we all have obstacles, and your obstacles might not look like mine may not look like yours, but we all have them and we tackle them daily.
Yeah.
Without even, putting much thought to it. And then once you tackle the obstacle, you got to unleash hope on that thing.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And hope, like I said, that's that thing that is going to get better. Hope is the belief that it's going to get better.
Right.
And so even through losing my parents, I couldn't see my way through, especially when I lost my mom. Your mama, that's
your heart. That's
Yeah.
your heart.
And being a sophomore in college, coming into womanhood, and you don't have your mother there to do it with you. But the beautiful thing is, I had something that was working far greater on the inside. Now y'all gonna make me preach. I ain't gonna preach, but I had something working on the inside that was much greater for me. And so because of all of that accumulated to this book, and I've been doing this thing in my church, Great Commission Community Church. Shout out GC3. I have my mentees in the building with me, Pastor Gloria Samuels and Winston. And I've been doing this thing for about 2.5 years now called Solomon's Corner. And Solomon's Corner is just a quick nugget before the message. And about 2 years ago, God just laid it on my heart to take those messages and put it into a book of devotionals. I was like, you sure, God? And he was like, go for it. I talked to my pastor. She was down with it. December 2013, I met my publisher, Tia Cook of DMI Publishing House. I met her on a fluke. I promise you all. And I said it's a fluke, but actually it was divine purpose. It was destiny lining up. In February of 2014, she said, India, you should write a book. I'm like, girl, I've been thinking about that. She said, let's do it. What you mean, let's do it? What you gonna do? She said, I have a publishing house. I pull it up.
Look at that.
You ain't got no publishing house. She Googled it. Like, yes, our books are published. She asked me when I wanted to do it. I was turning 30 in July 2014. And I said I would love to put my book in people's hands for my 30th birthday.
That's so
She
dope.
said, that's great, but why are we going to wait all the way to July? I'm like, girl, you talking my talk now. And so long story short, with a lot of work, a lot of effort, we released the book May 10th of 2014. The book has done phenomenal. I've sold out for my personal website. I'm Tough Devotional about 4 times. It's now available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, booksamillion.com. It's available in the Nook version. We start blogging. I'm toughenough.com. Check me out. You see I'm doing all these plugs because y'all gave me the mic.
Hey, shout out to
this
the
book is
plug.
legit. She's got the ISBN.
You better
what
know
I'm
it's
saying?
in the,
She
it's the
apprentice off of
Library of
Kinko's.
Congress, you know, and that's the thing about it. The Bible says God does everything and he does it well. That is done well.
Go
And
ahead,
that's
girl.
not me that is in that book. It's him shining through me. It's interesting. I feel like right now in my life, I'm being elevated, and God, he's put me out in the forefront, but it's only to deflect attention back to him. And so when you see me, understand it's not me that you're seeing. When you hear me, it's not me that you're hearing, but it's something on the inside of me that's drawing you to him.
Girl,
You know.
we about to have church up in here. Church up in 102 Jamz up in here today.
All right, so let's go a little bit into your journey.
Okay.
And you mentioned being a functioning drug addict, and that's something that kind of like sparked me a little bit. Do you think maybe the loss of your parents is what helped to start that off a little bit? Maybe just trying to escape from that pain.
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna be cussing. I ain't gonna be out here being ratchet. But you can't have this. I like this right here, you know. And it was just one day I had to have that come to Jesus moment. And I was in a situation, you know, I go to work every day. I work 2 jobs. If you know me, you know I'm gonna hustle. I ain't gonna never be without. And I had gotten in a situation where like my rent was 2 months behind. And y'all, they put an eviction note. I'm like, oh, you know, you got pride. I'm like, they ain't gonna put me out. Where I'm gonna tell, you know, and it was just then I was trying to get high to escape that day.
Wow.
And, you know, the Lord really had a conversation, even as in the middle of my drug use. You know, he was like, you're not gonna be able to smoke this out of you. You're gonna have to let me work it out of you. I put it down that day. God gave me clear instructions on where I needed to go, who I needed to ask for the money. In less than 24 hours, I had $1,400 that I needed to pay the rent and pay some more. And I have not picked it up since that day. So definitely with losing my parents, that added to it. But what you have to understand, addiction is a spirit. So even in putting the drug down, I still have to consistently fight being addicted to something else. Because you can lay down a drug and then become addicted to food or become addicted to sex or become addicted to people. So you're consistently battling that spirit. So
Now, when you say functioning, and you that means you had a job, you were paying your bills, you're doing normal stuff. People probably wouldn't be able to tell. So, like, when did you do this? Were you on like lunch breaks? You know?
Oh, now I wasn't loose with it. Like I'm a teacher.
Hey,
You know,
well,
I can't
yeah.
be going outside getting high and coming back and like.
What was you know, life like for you when it came down to that?
I got up. I went to work. Sometimes I do it before I went to work, which was hilarious. I couldn't function really. I'm like, nah, this ain't gonna work. Because you gotta pay your bills. You gotta make sure your mind right to go to work. But, you know, as soon as I get home from work, boom. That was, you know, the rest of my day. And, you know, I
Woo!
September was 2 years.
Awesome.
It was Labor Day weekend of 2013 where I laid it down. The interesting thing is, you know, I mean, of course, I know people who still participate in it, and you know, I've even been around it, and they're like, "Girl, you don't get that."
Like,
I'm good. But like I said, the thing about convictions is your convictions are yours, yours are yours, and mine are mine. And I can't place judgment on you for doing what you do. You know, all I can do is just pray that the same deliverance God led me to, that he'll lead you to. And I'm not here to be your judge nor your jury. I'm just somebody here to show you it's life on the other side of it.
What?
Go.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, what got you into mentoring? Because I believe that mentoring is amazing. It helps people get to where they want to be in a very respectable way, where you get to find someone that's in your field that you want to do, and they can help you get there.
I've had absolutely amazing mentors from the time I was little. And so in looking at my life now, had it not been for those mentors, I don't know what I would have done. And I had a wonderful mother. Kathy Lorraine Reaves was second to none. But you need help in guiding your kids. You know, a lot of times, and I don't have kids in the natural, but I got about 80 that come through my threshold every day. You know, your kids don't always hear it from you, but they'll hear it from someone else. And so, you know, I had mentors in school. I had mentors from the church, from the community, and so I'm a firm believer in you don't just take. You got to come back and put back in. And so mentoring gives you an opportunity to basically invest in something that you've already withdrawn from. And so why not? You know, I have this platform now. It's not just for me to get here and forget about them.
Right.
You know, my job is, like I said, I have my a few of my mentees with me, is to reach back and pull them along, because I have an obligation. A part of my assignment is to make sure that they fulfill theirs.
That's so dope.
For some of the young ladies that you mentor, like, what are some of the things that they may be going through right now that you can definitely relate to, that maybe some of the things you went through growing up around that same time?
Suicidal thoughts. You know, that's real. Like, I mean, if we're gonna be honest, like, we all
straight talk.
We all had a few moments where.
That's something we don't talk about enough as black people.
No.
Like, we kind of stray away from it. It's like, oh, you shouldn't do it, and that's it.
And so then when somebody does it, we looking crazy. But
Yeah.
here's the thing, like I said, life happens. And life, one thing I've learned about life is that life is made to break you. Life will throw every fiery dart that it can at you to make you throw in the towel and give up. But that's the beautiful thing about relationship with God, because he offers you something to make you be like, you know what, I'm going to keep on going. You know, I'm not going to end what I know I'm supposed to be doing here on earth. And like I said, with suicidal thoughts, life gets hard. It gets really, really hard. But Kanye said something that is the God-heaven truth. He said, giving up is way harder than trying. That when you got it in you, when it's in you to live, giving up, you don't even know it don't even feel right. I mean, you got me using all type of bad English, but it doesn't feel right.
It's not bad. I talk on this show.
It does not feel right to give up, because we weren't built to give up. Making it is in our DNA.
Resilience.
Girl, you better know it.
What's some of the things that happened that would give you some of those thoughts?
Losing my parents.
Okay.
Just family stuff.
Yeah.
I come from I love my family. I love them, and I wouldn't trade them in for nothing. But we all got issues in our families, you know what I'm saying? But you wouldn't trade them in for anything.
Yeah.
That's
you
real.
know, growing up in the hood, I come from Rolling Hills, the 700 block. That's real. I done seen dead bodies. I done seen real life crackheads. My mom had to take some of my friends in because their parents were too strung out to actually care for them. You know, I've lost people in my life, and that stuff gets heavy. And then don't talk about teenagers, girl. Your emotions just all over the place, and you don't know whether you're here, coming, there, going. And so all of that, like, it gets heavy on you, and it's a burden, and you have to fight that stuff. You have to fight it off. So,
what's some other things that some of these young ladies come to you about?
Teen pregnancy. Their parents, they've been molested, and you know, they told their mom, and mom chose boyfriend over them. And you know, I have a 1-year-old, and I don't have anywhere to stay because my mom doesn't have anywhere to stay, and because I'm living with her, I gotta go stay with my boyfriend's family, and they treat me like dirt, so I don't know what to do. You know, I haven't eaten in 2 days, Miss Reaves, because there's no food in the house, or you know, my shoes have holes in them even though it's 30 degrees outside. Baby, where's your coat? I don't own one. Real stuff.
Tough stuff.
Tough.
Yeah.
Tough. But one thing about it, life is tough, but you got to understand you tougher.
Hey,
I have never
that.
met a challenge. I've never came to an obstacle that I didn't have everything that I needed inside of me to make it through that. And that's not just me. That's not a gift that was just given to me. We all got that. And so my job is to make sure that they understand that they have that as well.
All right, so is that who you're mostly trying to reach with your book? Mostly the young women, or?
That the message is universal.
Okay.
You know, like I said, it spreads across various religions, cultures, ages, lifestyles. You know, I don't care how old you are. You know, and I can't downplay what you got going on because you 15, 16, 17. Because it's really important to you.
Right.
So I'm not going to say, girl, that ain't that.
Yeah.
I have to make sure that I encourage you where you're at, in what you're in, regardless of who you are or what you have going on.
That's real. Because it makes people feel like you want to hear them.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the worst thing. People looking at you, that's young. I mean, you're young. You ain't going through nothing. But no, young people go through things.
I heard something the other day. I saw a clip on YouTube, and the man was saying the greatest lesson that I learned from the struggle is the ability to say, me too. You know, people want to sympathize. Sympathy is like, oh, I'm so sorry that happened. But, baby, we got to tap into empathy. And empathy is that thing like, girl, Morgan, I know, girl, I've been there.
Me too.
Me too.
Yeah, when you hear that, me too.
Me too.
You're just tap into something for real.
You know, like I said, when I lost my parents, you know, everybody was so sorry that it happened. But it wasn't until somebody said, you know what, I lost my mom too. And I can't give you a surefire way or like a ABC way on how to get through it. But what I can do is allow my life to be proof that you'll make it.
Ooh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so that was my me too. And so now I got a whole bunch of me too's that I got to go offer to other people.
That's kind of how me and Morgan got so close, like recently in the last year. It was just like, yo, you too? You went through that too?
And that's the thing, y'all. We go through so much. And we have no idea that other people are going through the exact same thing because we have become masters of disguising. Girl, I know how to look like everything together. I put this hair together. I get this makeup on, get this clothes out, and walk out the door like I am on top of the world. And inside, I am broken. I am beat down. I'm on the ledge about to jump out. But it's when we take off all of that stuff, when I take this makeup off, pull this hair back, get in my NCCU t-shirt and, you know, sweatpants, and I'm just like, look, like, I ain't got it together. And people need to know, we ain't got it together. We're getting it together. But I don't have it all the way together, and people have to see the process, and we be so quick to, you know, hide the process of how I got from here to here. All you see is here. You don't see, girl, I fell, got back up, tripped over, flipped up. Girl, I took myself out one time, got back up. You know, we don't want to show people that, but that's what people need to know that they can make it too.
Embrace the struggle, because it's gonna happen. It's inevitable.
You preaching that more?
Don't get research.
Now, don't give away the book because that's obviously why they have to go buy it and to read it themselves. But this is like a 60-day devotional. Give us like maybe, I guess, a little insight of what these 60 days will take you through. What's the journey these 60 days will take you through, and where you supposed to be at the end?
At the end of this book, it's my desire that you will come out with a little bit more oomph than you had when you went in.
Okay.
You know, one of my favorite messages in that book is called From Feces to Fertilizer.
Oh.
Girl, ain't it good? The Lord just making me sound so smart. I'm telling you, one day the Lord me and him was having a conversation because how I'm talking to y'all, this how me and God talk. I was like, that's my boy. But he was like, you know, India, what is feces? And I was like, that's boo-boo. And he was like, will you go put your hands in? I was like, oh, I ain't doing that. You know, feces is dirty. It's disgusting. It's nasty. I can't pay you to play with it. But think about what happens when you take that same feces and you put it on soil. It turns into fertilizer. And then it helps things grow. Yeah. And not only what I need to help me, but what you all need as well. So I'm like, God, if you can take boo-boo and make it fertilizer to help something grow, you can take all my failures, my mistakes, my heartaches, my heartbreaks, my pain, my ups, my downs. You can take all of that to not only help me grow, but to help somebody else grow. And the interesting thing about feces, everything that it needs to help something grow is already in it. It doesn't have to pull from any outside source. Y'all, everything we need, we already got it.
So it's in our mess.
It's in our mess.
Voila! Like, you get it. But see, people don't want to deal with the dirty stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to get your hands dirty. And so you'll never, because you don't want to touch it, you'll never tap into the ability that's already there. You know, when people come into your life, all they're doing is enhancing what's already inside of you. That's a good word. I'm preaching to me right now. That's my hashtag for the year, messages I preach to myself, because everything I put out, it was for me first. Y'all just got a front row seat too.
Yeah, okay. All right, I like that.
Everything
I like that.
Out of me.
I like that.
I like that too.
And so, you know, doing this, actually writing the book, and the process of putting it together, like, how did you feel better at the end of it?
One thing about that book, when we decided like we were going full force, y'all, I had to pull myself back from the world. Like, you just finished grad school, so you understand, like, everybody want to go out, they want to hang out. You like, nah, I can't do it. They like, why? Because you always used to, you know, they're used to you being there and being available.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I would get off work every day, go home, cook dinner, eat, and I would go up to the McDonald's from my house because they had free Wi-Fi. Go sit up there, put in my headphones and my laptop, and I would sit there and I say, God, I'm not going to type, I'm not going to stroke a key until I hear you. I was fasting, I was praying, because I had to get me completely out the way so that I could clearly hear him, because every word that's in that book, I need it when you read it. I don't want y'all to hear India. I want you to hear what he's saying directly to you. And so at the end of it, like I said, I've never had children in the natural, but you know, I've seen my God kids being born, nastiest thing I've ever seen in my life. But you know, I bear witness to I love my God kids. But you know, I'm like, at the end of that labor, like, the woman's just like, oh my God. You know, you're exhausted, but you're so elated because that's your baby. And your baby is so full of potential. Your baby is the one that may change the world. And so when that book was finally birthed out of my spirit and I had it in my hand, a tangible product, I'm like, that's my baby. Now you go, and I had to speak to the book, you go and do the assignment that you've been put on this earth to do. And now it's touching people, y'all. You know, and it's not just touching black people, it's not just touching white people. You know, it's in other countries, it's over various age groups, it's homosexuals and lesbians and transgender, it's an atheist hand, because like I said, even though it has a Christian foundation, the message is universal. Principles are universal. They're not just Christian beliefs. These are things that are going to help you to make it through life, and we all need that.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, what's been the response from people that you know have read it or come back to you like, yo, like, this has changed in my life because of this? What's that been like?
Oh, my gosh. That is the most gratifying thing. To see something that you put your blood, sweat, and tears into, when you see other people benefiting from it. You know, every one of those messages from 1 to 60, they dealt with me first. You know, I had to live those things before I could authentically present it to everybody else. And so it's just a beautiful thing to see that the messages in that book, the same way they're dealing with me and made me tougher, they're doing it for other people. And y'all, I still read the book. I still read the devotion, and sometimes I read like, I wrote this. That's good stuff right there. You know, the other week I was going through something, and it's a message in there called Stay Focused. And I read the book, and I was like, I had the answer all along. And I was like, God, how beautiful is that? You provided the answer before I even knew it was a problem. Girl, that's all right there. That's cool. All right there.
Because you can look and see that you have Me Too's with people around the world.
Everybody, y'all, struggle is universal.
It really is.
Everybody has it.
Everybody
and like I said, we don't want to tell people about it, but if you're going to help somebody, you better start opening up and telling people about your struggle. Sure. And at the end of the day, real talk, the struggle ain't even got nothing to do with you. The struggle is for you to go help somebody else. Yep. You know, I had the opportunity to be the commencement speaker for my high school conference graduation this year. And to go back to a place that, one, I was a student at, two, I taught at. And, you know, you can't go back empty-handed. We were able to raise, in 2 weeks, power of asking. Opening your mouth and asking people, we were able to raise enough money to give every senior a copy of the book, and we took 3 $750 book scholarships back with us.
Whoa.
Now, the thing about it, as I stood there and I'm talking to them, I'm looking, and all I can see is me in the audience. You know, I'm like, that's crazy. You know, I'm up there tripping. I'm like, they look like me. But they look like me. You know, and what if I was to be so selfish that I didn't share what I've been through with them. Think of the growth that it would stunt off of my selfishness. One thing my pastor always teaches, the opposite of love is not hate, it's selfishness. When you can't put you aside to help somebody else, you in trouble.
Sometimes if you don't share your gifts with the world, you know, you're doing the greatest disservice to everything. You know, just imagine if you know, the Wright brothers decided not to put out the airplane.
I ain't telling nobody about this plane we've been working on over here. That's retarded. That don't even sound. That don't make any sense.
Travel.
So who really benefits?
Nobody.
Right.
And that's the thing about it. Your gifts, your talents, they are not for you. You're just the vessel.
Yeah.
That is being used to, you're the vehicle. I like that word better. You're the vehicle that's being used to get the message out. So,
if people wanted you to come speak at their organization, their church, or whatever, how can they get in contact with you for that?
You can always go to my website, www.imtoughdevotional, all one word, .com. You can also email me, india@imtoughdevotional.com. Check out the blog, imtoughenoughh.com. Y'all, that blog is the truth. One day I sat back and I read all the messages, and I'm not saying that to pump myself up, because, you know, I it's not me that I'm confident in, it's him inside of me. But I was reading that blog, and I'm like, man,
good stuff.
that's all right here. But definitely hit me up on the website, hit me up on my email, and let's just get it done.
And that's where people can also get the book as well?
Yes, you can get the book from imtoughdevotional.com, as well as on Amazon.com, Barnes & Nobles, Books A Million. My publisher, shout out to your cook, she's the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. She got it on, it's available on over 30,000 websites worldwide. Nice. And so, you know, you can order, like I said, it's also available in the Nook version if you don't like a hard copy book, you know, you like for it to be mobile. Yeah. So just hit us up, help us spread this word, help us do what we were assigned to do.
Dope.
That's it.
Awesome. Straight from Winston-Salem.
All right.
Represent.
Detroit, man, I ain't sorry. Don't get me. I'm a Trey from Thoroughbred. You better know that thing. You better know it.
Well, thank you for coming in this one. We really appreciate it.
I appreciate y'all, man. I wish y'all nothing but the absolute best in every endeavor. I know that this is just a launching pad for both of you all, and I look forward to seeing y'all at the top. We all gonna make it to the finish line. We're gonna go different ways, but I see y'all at the end. Is that all right? That works.
Listen to Straight Talk right here on 102 Jamz.
We good?